Well, good Friday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Woo! We are knee deep now in week number 8. Week number 8. It's hard to believe that we're almost at the midway point of the season. In fact, we'll be on a bye week next week. We've got the Bears on Sunday. And this season is crazy. You know, we started doing a live stream last night watching Tampa Bay versus the Ravens. And we saw some flashes of Tom Brady where he looked, like Tom Brady of old, and it looked like their offense was going. But they sputtered. They sputtered, and they ended up losing to the Ravens, and now we're on a 3-game losing streak. This season is so upside down. Let me give you an example because
Damn, Gina.
while I was getting set up and stuff, Gina sent me this tweet. After week 7 last year, there were 12 quarterbacks that had a rating of at least 100. Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston, and Derek Carr. This year, scoring is way, way down. There's only 5. Last year, there were 12. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tua, and Joe Burrow. That's it. Scoring is down across the NFL, and teams that we think were going to be good are not good. Tampa Bay is on a 3-game lose streak, which it is just getting abysmal right now. I'm at the point of saying, you're hearing these rumors that Giselle is putting in an ultimatum. At this point, looking at Tampa Bay, it's like, why are you staying, Tom? You have Giselle and a team that is literally going down the toilet. Here's how crazy this is. I want you to think about this. We have been killing the Washington Commanders, right? Ron Rivera's on the hot seat. Carson Wentz, was not as good as they had hoped. They got Heineke right now as a quarterback. Would you believe that the Washington Commanders have a better record right now than Tampa Bay? They're half a game ahead of them. How crazy is it that the Atlanta Falcons, 3-4, versus the Carolina Panthers at 2-5, are playing for the division lead in the NFC South? When we looked at the calendars, when you saw Seattle versus the Giants, you figured that was going to be a battle for draft position. Now you've got the Giants that are half game out of first, shout out to them, versus the Seattle Seahawks that are in first in their division without Russell Wilson. The NFL world is upside down. You've got Aaron freaking Rodgers on a 3-game lose streak. So you start looking at this and saying there's the Eagles, there's the Giants, there's the Minnesota Vikings. You can compete with any of those teams. And this is where you say Jerry Jones, who's 80 years old now, maybe this is the time to go ahead and grab some extra talent, because this is what the Eagles are doing. The Eagles smell blood in the water. The Eagles go out and get Robert Quinn. The Eagles were looking at trying to get Alvin Kamara, figuring that there is a fire sale in Atlanta. With the Saints right now after Sean Payton going and the team literally imploding. That they're looking and saying we got to start over. Looks like Alvin Kamara may be too expensive, so they may be looking elsewhere. So we'll see if they do something. But here we are. And we hear rumors of Odell Beckham. here we are. We believe that, like, Michael Thomas with New Orleans could be available. There's DJ Moore, which would probably be too expensive. There's Jeudy with Denver. Wouldn't this be the time to go ahead and do that? But if the Cowboys went out and got a big-time wide receiver and ended up spending quite a bit of compensation after letting go Amari Cooper for a 5th round, that would be admitting a mistake. And sometimes people in positions and with money don't like to admit mistakes. They would actually rather the mistake go on and just go on blindly like it didn't happen. And I think that's where we are with the Cowboys. Now, I heard a rumor, okay? I heard a rumor. Allegedly, the Cowboys called Denver about Jeudy. I saw that tweet from Space Cowboys this morning when I was up. I was up in the middle of the night, because I'm an old man going to the bathroom. Don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but like I said, I saw that tweet from Space Cowboy. I don't know. I don't know what the Cowboys are doing and what they're thinking, but you've got to say right now, if the Cowboys offense can get at least above average, that this is a team that could be a team to go some places. We don't know if they will or won't. I don't know. I wish I had the answers and stuff on there, but we'll have to wait and see. But I did want to listen to Get Up this morning. They have Greeny is now on the Dallas Cowboys bandwagon, much like he was the Washington Commanders bandwagon before the 2021 season. I hope this doesn't crash and burn for us like it did for the Washington Commanders. But this is their thoughts on what the Cowboys should do here at the trading deadline.
After my time, but I'm going to see if anyone here wants to change my mind on the following thought. I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys getting a healthy Dak Prescott back. I'm looking at how good their defense looks. I'm thinking about their owner who at this moment in time does not want to be known as the guy whose team has not won a championship in a quarter century and is getting up there in age. And most importantly, I'm looking at an NFC where the only other teams above 500 besides the Cowboys are Minnesota, Philadelphia, Seattle, and the Giants. And I'm thinking the Cowboys need to go off script. The trade deadline is in 6 days. They need to go all in. Push your chips in. Go get Jeudy. Go get Mike Gesicki if he's available. Go trade, mortgage your future and go out there and win a championship because it's there to be won for the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think of that, my GM?
I see you on Jeudy, and like you said, and I'm going to raise you Odell Beckham Jr. Who's going to turn 30 years old a week from Saturday, and he should celebrate it with a Dallas Cowboy uniform on. Because when healthy, he can make the 4 or 5 plays down the stretch that may separate them from the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a championship defense, and he was the best player on the field when he was healthy in the Super Bowl. Here's a big play against the Rams. Against the Packers. And if we go back to what the Rams did last year, they added Von Miller, they added OBJ. This is a championship team with a very good quarterback, a great defense, and he may be their missing piece.
What do you think of this, Canty?
I like the idea of the Dallas Cowboys adding. I'm just not thinking that it's on the offensive side of the ball. I think they've got to fortify their strength and their identity, which is defense. They just lost their starting nickelback Jordan Lewis to a Liz Frank injury, so adding a piece on the back end might make a whole lot of sense. A guy that comes to mind, Kenny Moore, Pro Bowl corner from the Indianapolis Colts. That seems like a franchise that's ready to sell off. Kenny Moore wanted a brand new contract this offseason. They didn't give it to him. That could make a lot of sense for the Dallas Cowboys to add another cornerback to that group. We already know how great that pass rush is. Quarterback play is at a premium, especially when we get down the stretch in the regular season and the postseason.
That's Kenny Moore you're seeing on your screen. All right, less sexy, but I still like it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're going to get anybody to disagree with you. This is what you play for. You play for opportunities like this. It's so rare that you're going to get an entire conference that's as weak as it appears to be right now, and you have a roster that seems ready to win a championship. It's incredibly impressive considering where I think most of us thought the Cowboys were before the season started. Then we found out we were all dead wrong. So, yes, this is the chance to go all in. You have to give up some future first-round picks in order to get guys that are difference makers. Yes, do it. We saw how important Von Miller, like you talked about OBJ, how important he was to that team last year. Von Miller was also a late-season addition that pretty much changed the complexity of, or the complexion of their defense, and I think they could use any pieces, honestly.
Well, even think about what the Bills with Stephon Diggs. Like a lot of people are like, ooh, I don't know, that's a lot to give up. And guess what?
He was
Brandon
worth
B
it.
knew what the hell he was doing. With the Cowboys, I think you think about windows. And last year I felt was an opportunity for them to actually go on a run based off on the rest of the division being weak. And now I think Jerry Jones being 80, you know, I think you've got to take those chances now because I don't know.
He ain't buying green bananas.
No, Jerry's going to live forever. I mean, I know Jerry is going to live forever. Let's make that clear. But Jerry, if you're watching, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
I can't remember a time where anything felt as winnable as this. With no disrespect to the names I'm about to read, the other quarterbacks who are over 500 in the NFC right now are Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, and a still, in the big picture, unproven Jalen Hurts. I mean, Hurts has been terrific. Right. He's in the MVP conversation, but
crazy.
Let's see if he's ready to go toe-to-toe with Dak Prescott, who has been completely underappreciated and completely disrespected. And his cousin Dominic is going to be upset by a lot of people on this desk, I might add.
I do agree with the idea of fortifying the defense. The more pieces you can add there, because I think that's how you win in this league, is like you have a strong strength that you can lean on. Right now, it's that defensive line. They can't suffer any injuries there or any setbacks there. They want that to be strong, and they want their secondary to be strong because they're going to have to be able to stop passes as the season goes on in the playoffs. And the offense, I think, is coming along. As Dak gets healthier, they have parts and pieces there that could work out. So whatever they can get added.
You see, I see it differently. Their one hole was we didn't replace Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup will get better. Right. CeeDee Lamb will continue to evolve, but they need a guy to hit a home run. And again, he's coming off of an ACL, but again, OBJ is only going to be 30. I think he has enough juice.
Get him both. Get Jeudy and OBJ and Gesicki. Everybody.
Jerry got the money.
OBJ doesn't cost you anything in draft cap,
Here's
but
my only question about Odell. If you add Odell, I like the star power, I like that. Does Dak feel forced to get him the ball? Especially when you've seen CeeDee Lamb, there are questions about, is he ready to be the number one? That's my only concern about how it affects. But if they're winning games, maybe it won't.
Doesn't matter if you're winning
Jerry,
games.
if you're watching, and we know you are, push the chips to the center of the table, sir. It is time to get it done. In the meantime, the trade deadline is next Tuesday.
All right, so should the Cowboys consider bringing in somebody? If you're making a trade, you got till Tuesday. If you're looking at Odell, you've got unlimited time because he's a free agent. It's going to be interesting for the next couple of days. We can definitely say that. In the meantime, we've got some injuries that we're dealing with. We had Micah Parsons limited yesterday in practice. Sam Williams was not practicing yesterday. We have James Washington, who's constantly working on the bands, along with Noah Brown. We'll see what the final report will be from practice today. But as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. We'll see you in the workshop.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting,